So, there is this French movie comedy called L'Acheter une famille, in which they design a chair. It's a very beautiful chair, very designed. It's a chair with 3 legs, but the problem is nobody managed to sit on it. In the movie, they just fall down every time. Very funny indeed, but it reflects an interesting problem. The design of the chair is really good, but the user experience is really bad. Well, in web design, a perfectly good website should have the good balance between user experience and user interface, so the design of the chair. I'm assuming that if you are here today, during lunchtime, no less, it is to create a design and user-friendly website. Well, my name is Amandine. I'm a web designer at Odoo, and today we are going to see how to design a website with a perfectly good user experience and user interface, and of course, how to apply all of that in Odoo. So, UX, short for user experience. It is how a user interacts with and experiences a product, system, or services. It includes a person's perception of utility, ease of use, and efficiency. So thank you, Wikipedia, for the description. So in a nutshell, what is UX, so user experience? It is how it feels. So it's the feeling the user will get when they are using your website. Then it's how easy it is, if your website is simple, clear, and comfortable to use. And finally, it is how useful it is, how the user will find all the information they are looking for in your website. So add to cart, find the contact information, how to contact your company, and all of that. So how you can achieve that? By doing a wireframe. Wireframe is kind of like when you are building a house, the first step that you usually do is a blueprint. Before the foundation, before adding the painting and etc., you do the blueprint. This is wireframing. So in a wireframe, usually you will find the organization of the space, the hierarchy of the content. So will I have my e-commerce category before my product carousel or after? The available feature of my website. Will I have the product carousel? Will I have a contact button? The access to the cart in the header, and finally the expected behavior. So if I click on this button, in which page will I go? If I do this, what do I do on my website? So this is basically wireframes. Then UI, short for user interface. It's basically making all of that pretty. So again, remember, when you are building a house, you are done with the blueprint, and then you do the foundation, and finally the painting, the curtains, choosing all the decoration. This is user interface. A user interface is like a joke. If you have to explain it, well, it's not that good. So UI, user interface, made simple. Again, it's how it looks, so the visual aspect of the design. So the colors, the button, the typography, the layout. Then it's how it's arranged. So the structure and the placement of the elements. So in my website, will I have 1, 2, 3 image, the title above the image, after the image, the button, and it's how you interact. So all of the interactions you can find on the website. So the action behind button, the hover effect, the animation, it's all of the interaction. And how you make a clean design? Well, first you choose some colors. The colors should be consistent with your branding. Then you choose some typography. Again, the typography should be consistent with your branding. If you have an e-commerce or if you have a lawyer website, the typography will not be the same. Then you have the animation and the visual. So as we talked previously, the hovering effect, the animation on scroll, on appearance. Then you have the images. Something that is really often underrated on a website is images, but images are really powerful. And finally, white space. So how your block will have spacing between them. And if you want to know more about all of that, I advise you to go check my talk from last year, where I go deeper on all of that element. But today, let's just focus on UX and UI. Now, the interesting part for you, how to do all of that in Odoo. So here, what I did is I reflected my wireframe on my database. So I have exactly the same that we saw before. So just all my area, all my content, but with gray element. So let's design a little bit this website. So to access the website builder, you just click on the edit button here, and it will open the sidebar of the website builder. So you will have three different tabs: the block, where you can drag and drop the blocks, the Odoo blocks. Then you have the style, where you can style the block, and finally the theme. So usually, us designer, when we are designing the website, we focus firstly on the theme tab. So the theme is where you will find, as we talked, colors, font, typography, the style of the button, and etc. So let's quickly jump here on my mood board. This is also something that can help you achieve a consistent branding, is doing a mood board. So here on my e-commerce, I want to sell chairs. So we have my logo, studio seats, and then you see that on my mood board, I previously chose some visuals to have kind of the ambience I want on my website. So I want a really gray, kind of earthy, organic colors. And then we have the heading of the font. So the font for the heading, we have the font for the typography, we have our 5 Odoo color palettes, and the style of our button. So let's quickly copy-paste the hexadecimal code of our colors. On the colors, I will paste the first colors, then switch and paste the second color. Perfect. And then the third color. And here there is something really interesting happening, is that in Odoo, once you upload a setting in the theme, it automatically applies everywhere on your website. So you don't have to redo all the steps for the colors and the typography. So now let's change the font for our paragraph. So in my mood board, again, we saw that I previously chose the Hanken Grotesque font. So let's jump back in my website builder, and on the paragraph, let's click on font family here, and we have the add a custom font. So when you do that, there is a pop-up opening, which allows you to add your Google font or custom font. So you can choose a font from Google font, or if you work with a graphist, you can upload a custom font. Here, let's just add our Hanken Grotesque, which is a Google font. We save and reload. And voila, it's happening. Everything automatically changed. And we can do the same for the headings. So let's add a custom font. And in this case, it's the Archivo. We save and reload. And then we have our font. Okay, so we talked about colors, we talked about font. Now let's edit a little bit the setting of the button. So in my case, on my website, I want a really designed website because my chairs, they are really designed, but I also want to reflect the coziness of the armchairs, of the chairs. So to do that, let's just add more rounded button. So let's add the setting for the round corners and put it on 50 pixels. And again, it automatically adapts, and my button are now rounded. Let's save all of that. And okay, we have the basics of the website, but we talked about something really important, is images. And you will see that by adding an image, it's totally changing the aspect and the layout of the image, of the website. So first, let's add an image to my banner. Let's select this one. You can either search your font directly in a Unsplash or free-to-use library. You can also upload your own font. like that. But let's select this one. Amazing. Then our second section here, it's a new block from V19, which is really interesting if you want to display our e-commerce category. So let's change the image for all of that. So here we have our chairs. So our e-commerce category chairs, then we have our office chairs, and finally we have our armchairs, like that. Amazing. It's already looking fine. I already set up all of my text. Then we have our images automatically adapting because it's a dynamic content. Let's add an image for this section. And finally, this one. For this one, maybe we'll put this. Okay. Or maybe not that one. I think this one is looking quite better with the gray theme of my website. Okay, let's save again. And now we see that just by adding some images, it totally changed the overall feeling of the website. It's already looking a lot better. Now, we are here to design a website like a professional designer. So let's step it up. Let's add the designer touch. Again, let's go to the edit mode, and this section, I think it's looking okay, but we have some issue with this one. The main would be the contrast. You see that my text, I cannot read it really good. So if I cannot read it, my user won't certainly read it. So we can fix that by adding a color filter. So let's go to the style of my my block, add the color filter, and I think we can go for this one. Okay, we have a filter, but what we can do also is change the color of the background, the setting of the block. For that, when you click on the color of the background, something really interesting here, it will open a modal with 5 color palettes. So these 5 color palettes are automatically generated by Odoo. So we can use this one, and you see that it's already looking a lot better. And finally, let's play with the placement of the image. So let's take advantage of my image, and what could be cool is to align the text with the leg of the chair here. So let's put our block in grid mode. And in Odoo, if you put a block on grid mode, you have more flexibility with the design. So you can really play with the layout and the overall setting. So let's put our text here and select it. And also a new feature from V19. Now, if you want to edit the text, you don't have to scroll down at the top. You can directly edit all of that here. So let's align it to the left. Perfect. It's okay, but we can step it up a little bit more. In really modern websites, you see really big, impactful font. Usually, you see big font, big bold font. Let's try to reproduce that with Odoo. Let's add on my grid mode a text element. Perfect. We can add the name of our website, Studio Seats. Perfect. We can select this. Put it on bold, and let's put 100 pixel size. And now we can play a little bit with the placement. So I think it can look really nice if we put this element here, and we can reduce a little bit the pattern to stick the text to the bottom, and we can also play with the placement of the image to have a better feeling. So we can go here, we have the image position, we can click on the little target, and then we can, yes, like that. Move it a little bit at the top. All right, I think it's looking quite better now. And the final touch, something that I like to do on my website is put the header position over the content, which gives a really nice effect and really design effect on my banner. All right, so now that we have our banner, let's move on to the rest of the website. For this, we can, I think, add a little bit more padding, more spacing, and we also have the same issue with the contrast. So again, we can add a little color filter like this, and we can change also the color of the element. All right, color filter, like that. Amazing. Can OK like that, and finally we have to stay consistent and change this. So this we already talked about. Now let's move on to the dynamic e-commerce product carousel. So we have again some new feature from V19. I know that we talked a lot about e-commerce previously, so let's just quickly go over this one. Something that we can see, again a new feature from V19, is that we can change the scrolling mode. So before we only could slide 4x4. Now we can slide on single, so 1 by 1. Perfect. What we can do also is put the title on the left and put the container on full size. And finally, we can check the new card's design. And I think we can leave the gap like this, a little bit more, the roundness. And finally, the ratio of the image. I want my image to be a little bit bigger. OK, like that is totally fine. Then, again, new block from V19. It's the announcement scroll. So really interesting for e-commerce. Usually you see interesting information. You can say the brand you are working with or information. So in this case, let's adapt it to my website and say free shipping. Let's say design and sustainable. We can also play a little bit with the direction. Left is really fine. The scroll speed, we can improve it a little bit more. The hover effect, I will remove it. I don't want to pose it on hover. And finally, bigger font size. Yeah, we like big fonts. OK. This next block, we talked about consistency. So what can we do here? So I don't know if you see an issue with this block. Personally, I see one. It's again the contrast. But yeah, we are not able to read the text. We can do the same thing from the banner. Let's add a color filter and change quickly the settings. Perfect. The filter can be a little bit more black. And we talked about placement. So here we can really take advantage of the image. So we see that here we have kind of a wide gap behind the stairs. So what we can do is, again, edit this, put it on grid mode, and let's reduce it a little bit. Put it like that, remove the padding. So you really have to take advantage of what you have here. Add a text element. Let's say here, up. Sorry about that. What's new? Bold, 100 pixel to have again the consistency we talked about, and put it right over there. Perfect. And finally, we can improve this last block. So it's already looking nice, but what we can do is to remove the text here, put it again on grid mode, reduce the image a little bit, and align my element. All right, text element, and the About Us can go above the image. So for this, we really want to set up a header 2, put it on bold, again, 80% this time. We can move it like that easily and put it on white. So you edit the text, you click here, and then you can change the color of the font. Perfect. we can also add a little bit more padding because I think it's a little bit too much sticky here. So let's add a 30 pixel padding on my column. Amazing. And finally, I think we can add a little bit of an animation here because it's looking quite nice, but it's missing something. So we can set up quickly an animation by selecting the block, and then you have on the column setting, the animation. We can put it on appearance. Oops, let's slide it from the left and reduce a little bit the intensity. Okay, I think we are good, and I think it's looking quite nice. It's looking quite nice. So what I really wanted to show you here is that just by applying the advice I previously showed you, so consistent color, consistent branding, you can really have a really designed website. So just apply it and then we have the website. So I think we are okay like that. So in conclusion, what did we learn today? We learned that thanks to Odoo, we can design a website that have a really well-balanced user experience and user interface. Now, make it happen. Make sure that your website is not like that chair that we saw at the beginning. Don't hesitate to try it yourself. So install the website app and try it and see what happened. Thank you.
Thank you, Amandine, for the amazing talk. Some questions are already answered, so I'm just going to do the ones that are not answered yet. The horizontal categories in the new design, when you have a lot of them, you always still have the horizontal scroll bar. Is this something that is ever going to disappear? Or is there an option to not have the scroll bar?
So in the shop, or in the...
When you add a lot of categories, so there's in the e-commerce, it looks great, like the new design, they like it. However, you always have like the scroll bar.
Like this. So yeah, we have some new design here for the e-commerce category. It's the thumbnail here, and you can edit the style. So if you have a lot, now you can put like a little dot like that. So you have really a lot of new layout that you can play around with the shop.
Thank you. Can different modules from different templates be used to create a page?
Different module from this?
I think they mean like the snippets and the blockets. Can they be used to create a new page, and how easy is it to do?
Yeah, you have some new templates, so I'm not sure I can't quite understand the question.
So different models from different templates. So I think they mean when you create a design, you have
you can save it as a template, yes, of course. So now you have the ability to save a page as a template. So you have to go to the properties of the page, and then you can select is a template, and if you save it, and after that, if you select new page here, you can go to custom and you have your template here. And then you have the copy of the home, let's say test. And on your test page, you have the template. So which is really interesting. If you have a lot of services, you just need to create the first page, and then you can create the template and adapt the text.
In some e-commerce categories with the product listing, they should be chips. In the others, grid, and in some others, the category showcase. At the moment, I'm only able to apply the style for the whole website. Would it be an option to split it up between different e-commerce categories?
So I think this is more of an e-commerce question. So for this, don't hesitate to come at our stand where we have e-commerce experts that can help you with the setting of the attribute and etc. But just for the design aspect, now you have some new addition for the filter. You can either put it like that, or you can also, let's go to my, sorry, I think the Wi-Fi is not really nice today. But yeah, you have, so yeah, here, you have the filters, and now you can hide, put it on off-screen, sidebar, and you have some new option.
Okay, and then the last one, and the rest will reply afterwards. Is it possible to make a mega menu?
Yeah. So mega menu, it's quite easy. You can go to the site, menu editor, and then you can add a mega menu here. Again, collection. I already had one, but let's say collection. You save, and then it's loading, and then you have your mega menu here. And if you click on it, you have some templates here that you can play around with.
Super.
You also, you also have the e-commerce category that automatically adapt. So if you click on it, you have your e-commerce category directly here.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.